Hi everyone, good evening. I had made half the video yesterday because it would have become very monotonous for you to carry on. So I'm back with the second part today, right? So I'll just start off at the earliest, and thank you for so many views within 24 hours. I'm so thankful, and I welcome you back to this platform. And we were doing the trends in English language teaching and its challenges. So till yesterday, I had broadly spoken about the trends and the history of English language teaching in India. Why is it important? Just the basic foundation of the video. So today I'll be dealing with the challenges, but just as a part of recapitulation or a recap, here is the last slide from yesterday. Okay. So here we go. This was the last slide which I had taken up yesterday. The effects of on the future of Indian education. That is the effects of English language teaching on the future of Indian education. So first was improved quality, that is teaching English well can enhance the overall quality of education in India, making it more competitive on the global scale. Inclusivity, proficiency in English can bridge the gap between students from different linguistic backgrounds and ensuring more inclusive education. Increased opportunities, language skills can definitely open up better opportunities for Indian students to pursue higher education and employment overseas, that is in foreign lands. And global perspective, as the name signifies, English education can foster a global perspective, and definitely the students will be encouraged to engage in international issues and cultures, and of course give a very positive contribution. Okay, so in a nutshell, one can say that English language teaching is crucial in the Indian context due to its relevance in education, employment, and global interactions. Effective teaching methods, good curriculum, relevant curriculum, and new curriculum development, all of these can enhance a better English teaching in our country. So we'll become more global and we'll become more efficient when it comes to teaching and also in employment opportunities. So now we come to the main topic. And this is the challenges in the way of ELT in Indian perspective. Yeah. My picture comes. Okay, so the last word is perspective. All right. I have my notes in my hand, so I'll just go through this. Okay, now the first point over here, one sec. This is, despite making good progress, ELT in India still faces a lot of challenges because we do not have adequate teaching, teachers, workshops, teachers training, assessment, and infrastructure. So as a result, ELT is still facing a lot of challenges and problems. So our training programs need to be more effective and innovative. Assessment methods also need to be more reliable and valid, and the infrastructure needs to be improved to provide better facilities for ELT. Okay, so because all these kinds of trainings are going to enable the teachers to become more able to understand the problems and find solutions in the way of English language teaching. Now we come to, the first challenge, the overindulgence by the teacher, in an effort to save your own time, in an effort to show that you are doing a good job, most of the time teachers become overindulgent and they try to do the work which should actually be done by the children themselves. This needs to be stopped with immediate effect. Now we have some inattentive or unmotivated students as well. They're not interested. So we have to make the classroom atmosphere such that the students are motivated to pay attention and do the learning part. Then we have some quiet participants or introvert listeners who know things, but they don't have the courage to come up and participate in class discussion or even simply giving answers. So this needs to be stopped, or this needs to be really looked after, because we must, as teachers, try to bring such children to the forefront. Now, the next challenge is the influence of the mother tongue. Mostly children want to speak in their own mother tongue, and this actually creates a lot of problems for the teacher. So this needs to be stopped or discouraged, and teachers should try to make the children understand that if they use too much of mother tongue, then they will not be able to learn English in the right perspective. Another is the fear of feedback. Now, it's not just the students who are scared, it's the teachers also who are scared of feedback. They feel that if they do not really deliver the goods, then the authority is a principal. They may underrate them as teachers. So they prefer not to bring out the you can say the shortcomings of children to the forefront, and they keep giving them marks. And children, of course, they are also scared of feedback, so they restrain from speaking in English because they do not want to make laughing stock of themselves. Then also when we are teaching, we must have certain clear-cut aims, but teachers actually do not have such clear-cut aims, and so they just, it's like shooting an arrow in the dark. And when we do that, we are not sure of its success. So we must have certain clear-cut aims before we start teaching in the class. Next is overcrowded classrooms. Some schools are forced to have maximum children in every class. So obviously it's very difficult for the teacher to pay attention. So individual attention cannot be given. Next is the lack of competent teachers. Now, there are both sides to a coin. Sometimes there are problems which are created for teachers, and sometimes there are problems which the teachers themselves create. They are not competent enough to teach. Unfortunately, we have lots of English teachers who themselves speak and write wrong English. Now, how to sort out this problem is beyond me. It's just that I can suggest to teachers to read a lot and to listen to as many English programs on the television or on the OTT, so that they learn the nitty-gritties of English and they do not make those errors again. Faulty methods of teaching. Literal translations, or not being able to teach grammar correctly, these could lead to wrong English teaching. We need a lot of good teaching aids also, but in schools, mostly there are very few adequate teaching aids. And so obviously, when you have less of teaching aids, or you have not so good teaching aids, then obviously the teaching is not as effective. We also have a very faulty examination system where only rote learning is encouraged. So that again has to be revamped. We have to see that the examination system is revamped, and we have a better kind of an assessment system for our teachers and children. Lack of motivation and feeling of hesitation. Sometimes teachers themselves are so demotivated that they cannot motivate or encourage their students. So we have to create, again, a kind of a class atmosphere where both teachers and students, they feel motivated and they put hesitation onto the back burner. Now, role of the government in the implementation of ELT. the government has tried. They are trying to, create certain training sessions for teachers. The national education policy in itself, you can say, it has made English and multilingualism as the focus, the prime focus of education, and a lot of reforms have been made in this direction. So the Indian government has launched various initiatives to improve the quality of English language teaching and listening skills. Now, these include the establishment of ELT institutes across the country, development of a standardized English language curriculum. If we see the NCF, we'll see that this is actually coming up. The training programs for English language teachers and integration of technology in English language classrooms. This is like I talked about language labs. So this is something pertaining to that. Innovations in English language teaching. And also before this, when I was on the last slide, there is an organization called the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. This is a step ahead, again, forward in the direction of ELT. So this is a government initiative that aims at enhancing the quality of English language teaching in government schools through teacher training and capacity building programs. Okay, so now we come to the innovations in English language teaching. Here we have blended learning. Now, blended learning is hybrid learning, and it is also, you can term it as a technology-mediated instruction system, where learning is done two ways. It is web-enhanced instruction. It is a mixed mode of instruction, and it is an approach to education that combines online education materials and opportunities for interaction in class also, with physical kind of teaching going on in the class. So this blended learning basically requires physical presence of both the teacher and the student, with some element of teaching in the class and some outside. Then we have gamification. Now, gamification is something which is not really games, but it has a semblance to kind of teamwork. Okay, so this is like, the teachers will have to innovate certain ways where teaching is done in a more gamified manner. And then we have project-based learning. Now, project-based learning is something like, it is a teaching method in which students learn by actively engaging themselves in real world and personally meaningful projects. Okay, so real life situations are given to them. So the students are supposed to demonstrate their knowledge and skills by creating a public product or presentation for a real audience. Like we can have a workshop, or we can have an exhibition where students make their models, whatever, depending on the subject, not just necessarily English, but other subjects also, and they project it to the audience. So as a result, what will happen? Students will develop deep content knowledge and as well as critical thinking skills, collaboration, creativity, and communication skills also. Now, the contemporary and future trends in English language teaching and learning in India. So till now, we had some different kinds of goals. Now, with the advent of new technology and innovations in teaching, we have found that there are certain changes which have been incorporated in the goals of English teaching and learning. So now the goals of ELT are not focusing on developing the language as such, but now, we are trying to focus solely on a sense of social responsibility amongst our students. And with this growing awareness of the importance of producing responsible citizens for society, now teachers are well recognized, or they have now understood the fact that the teaching of English is not just a project to prepare students to imitate native English language, but also as they should produce fully competent language users who are critical thinkers and they are constructive in their approach. Okay, so this is the first change that we can see. Again, now there is a change in the approach to teaching culture. Long gone are the days, one sec, when focus of ELT was keeping the foreign culture alive. But now that thought has completely changed. So now it's not a dominant language that we are trying to say, but it has become a common platform for sharing knowledge, skills, and ideas. So there is less focus on teaching the culture of native speakers of English unless there is a specific purpose for doing so. Third, we come to CLIL, which is Content and Language Integrated Learning. Now here, this is, if you have a well-planned content and language integrated learning plan for the students, then there is focus or there is emphasis which is laid on 4 C's. First is the content, that is to enable the progress in the knowledge of skills and understanding of a specific issue or curriculum. Second is communication. Any language is basically required for communication. So while learning the language, the children or the teachers need to focus on its communication, or you can say effective communication. Then the third point is the content. So the content should be relevant to the age, to the region where the children are, and also to the global perspective. So relevant lessons are to be incorporated. And last is communication again, that how to use the language which you are learning to better your prospects in future and to become more effective communicators. And yes, the culture needs to be maintained wherever you are. I mean, you learn something new, but you do not forget your own native culture. Now, ELT and employability. Through effective English language teaching, we see that employability is enhanced, your prospects are better. And the NSDC also is now aiming to provide skill-based training. Till now, it was, just class-centric, just teach, whatever. But now, a lot of emphasis or a lot of importance is being given to skill-based training. The English Language Proficiency Test, that is the ELPT, it is a standardized test to measure English language proficiency. So our students and children who wish to go out, they appear for these tests and they establish their efficiency in English language. And so they find better prospects globally. The English for Employability program focuses on job-specific skills, okay? So there are so many jobs in the job market, and the employability program focuses on the particular skill, the job-specific skill that you are looking at. So conclusion, we have to transform English language teaching in India, and we have done it. We have been successful to some extent, because we understand today that English language teaching in India is crucial for the holistic development of students. That is the all-round development of the students. It's not just their cognitive abilities, but also their overall personality. So we need to embrace innovative approaches, and we also need continuous improvements to empower our future generations. And this is what sustainability is all about. We talk about sustainable development goals. This again is a very important part of sustainable development in the modern times. So thank you, viewers, for being so patient. I know it was a little longish kind of a video, but then I had to complete it as soon as possible. So I thought of completing it today. And now I'll be taking up, videos on request. And also it's going to be more related to the subject matter from classes 9th to 12th. It could be literature, it could be writing skills. So if you have any query, or if you have any particular lesson that you would like me to take up, I'll be really happy to do that. So for the time being, good evening, bye-bye. See you as soon as possible. And let me just stop sharing. So have a wonderful Friday tomorrow. And let's see, we'll be meeting soon. So till we meet, it's bye-bye. Take care. Good night.